Anytime that we do academic writing, we need to be able to reference other work and be able to properly attribute that work through citation. You can do that by hand, but that can be very tedious and time-consuming. And so I'm going to show you a really nice tool called a reference manager that allows you to avoid some of that difficulty. So I'm going to start a document here, and I want to cite a paper here. Okay, so I want to be able to insert a reference here. And then I'm going to want to put some bibliography in here, so I'm going to have my references that I'm going to use. Okay, and so I've got my paper, my main document. I want to put the citation in. I could do this by hand, and then I could go manually type in that citation, but I'm bound to make mistakes, and it's also going to be time consuming, and if I have to reorder things in the paper, that's going to be complicated. Okay, so the tool we're going to use is called Mendeley, and so it's mendeley.com here, and I'm going to download the Mendeley desktop. Okay, and then after I download and install this and set up an account, which is free, then I'm going to go click on this Install Web Importer button. And there's some instructions here that are going to allow me to add this button that says Import to Mendeley. Alternatively, I've also got a Chrome extension installed here called the Mendeley Importer. So that's another tool you can add if you want, but it does the same thing as this Import to Mendeley button. Okay, so now I've got this all set up here, and after I install it and set up an account, I'm going to have this Mendeley desktop software on my computer. I'm then going to go to Tools, and I'm going to install the Microsoft Word plugin. And so now I have everything ready to go. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do in order to be able to add this citation here where I want it is I'm going to need to have my paper into my reference manager. Okay, so I've now pulled up here an article from the Journal of the American Chemical Society, also known as JACS, and I want to cite this paper. So there's all kinds of citation information in here. I could also just manually download the citation, but what's really nice about this reference manager is I can just click this Import to Mendeley button, and it's going to load this little thing here. Oops. And once I've got that done, so we're going to have, it brings up all the metadata, so it shows it's correctly found all the citation information here. And so now I can just hit save. If I want to, if I've got multiple folders on my computer, if I've got different types of papers I'm interested in, I might store it in a particular folder that I've created in Mendeley, or I might want to add tags here because I might want to be able to find this paper as my library starts to grow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the save button here, and it's going to save this document, and so it says that it's saved. And so I've been here on this landing page and done that. And then if I go into my Mendeley desktop, I'm going to hit the sync button, and it's going to go find the things that I've just added. So here's the article that it's just added that I have recently imported, and so now it's ready to go. You'll notice I've been doing this for a long time, so if I click on all my documents, I have lots and lots of papers, and they're organized by a bunch of different things. So if you want to do your future self a favor, anytime you've got a paper, just go ahead and add it. It takes about 2 seconds anytime you're at a landing page for a journal article, and save that in the reference manager. It makes it really easy to go relocate papers in the future. Okay, so that's a nice time-saving tip down the line. So now I'm over here in my document, and after I've installed that Mendeley tool, I'm going to have a little toolbar under the References tab in my Microsoft Word, and I can just click Insert Citation wherever I want to put it. So I'm going to put my cursor here, and I'm going to go click Insert Citation. And there's also a keyboard shortcut for that. And if I happen to know the name of the paper, I could start to type it, and it's going to narrow it down and find it. But if I don't know it off the top of my head, I could also start to type an author's name in there, and so that's going to find papers for me. But I can also just click on Go to Mendeley. So we can go to my recently added documents, and there's the one that we just added. And I'm going to click the Cite button, and it has now inserted a number 1 to say this is the first reference in my paper. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to my bibliography, and I'm just going to hit Insert Bibliography, and there we go. We have the citation right where we want it, and it's correctly formatted for the Nature journal. And this up here it says Style, and it's in the Nature style. If I pull this down, there's a whole bunch of different ones. So there's all kinds of different methods that you might want to use. So you might be writing something for an English class, for example, and you might need to use MLA format. So I could click on More Styles, and I could look in here, and I could look for the Modern Language Association, and I could click on that, and I could say Use this style, and then Done. And now it's going to reformat it. Notice it's now an inline citation like you would do for MLA, and it's reformatted this, which looks very different than it did in Nature. Or I can go back up here and I could say for the American Chemical Society, and it's going to reformat it again, and it's going to use whatever that particular citation style is. So it's a really nice thing, and there's all kinds of different ones that I could use. I could use the IEEE format. You'll notice it looks different both in line as well as in my references. So we'll just switch it back to the American Chemical Society with titles version, and we've got a nice reference there. So it's a really nice tool to be able to do quick insert citations. So let me show you something else. So now I want okay, so now I want to insert another paper. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click Insert Citation. And I'm going to go over to Mendeley here, and I'm just going to pick out 2 random papers. So let's pick out this paper and this paper. I can actually pick more than one, and I can hit Cite. And notice it's put 1 and 2, and it's now changed this one to 3 automatically for me. So I'm never going to have to renumber anything. If I actually happen to cut this one out and move it up in my document, it will renumber everything. It didn't do it right now, so I can just hit refresh, and now it's going to renumber everything, redo the references for me automatically in my bibliography. So a really nice tool, avoids any kind of reformatting, and you'll notice I didn't have to try to type all these things out, worry about whether I'm getting the page number and the year in the right place. It'll all match the citation style that I've asked for up above.